1874, the early settlers of a sleepy town called Oakbank in the picturesque Adelaide Hills made some land available for horse racing. A year later, the Onkaparinga Racing Club was formed, and by 1884, a crowd of 10,000 people attended the Oakbank races. They came by horse and trap, buggy and train. In those days, the train from Adelaide only came as far as Aldgate, and the rest of the journey was made in large German wagons. Finally, when the train came to Oakbank, people could actually walk to the Oakbank course. Though few people would walk the distance these days, but the tradition of picnic Oakbank racing had begun. Today, the Easter Oakbank races are a big two-day event, attracting horses from all around the country. Throughout its colourful history, Oakbank has always been a family affair, a place to get away from it all and enjoy the beautiful countryside. For more than 61 years, a small group of families have been coming to camp at Oakbank. For the first 30 years, they camped on a plot of land made available by Mr. Pinnock, whose property was adjacent to the racecourse. The campers then negotiated with Mr. Wally Kerber and his wife Glenda to relocate their camp. They set up their tents in a long row beside the track. It was nicknamed Rotten Row because of its makeshift appearance. This is their story, the story of Rotten Row.
Well, as you asked me, was I the first person up here? Not in this paddock, down there in Pinnock's paddock. It goes back to 1934. But I was with my wife and her people. There was 12 people living in that house then, with their father, and it was their father that was holding the family together. But how this came about, camping, perhaps a fortnight before Easter in 1934, I went down there this particular Sunday afternoon and were talking about Easter. What are we going to do Easter? And out of the blue I just said, well, what about we go to Oakbank and camp? Well, from there on it started. We're all talking about it. We never had a bed to lay on, or not to bring away, or a tent, but anyhow, my wife's sister, she was cobbers with a woman across the road, and she had about a 10 by 8 calico tent, that was all. So then, all right, they got the tent, and the next thing, how are we going to get up here? So they had an uncle, Ern Wallace was his name. He had a dairy round in Rosewater. He used to deliver the goods with the covered wagons. He brought us up here. In those days they had to come around Germantown Hill, that way. So anyway, coming before we got to Germantown Hill, the motor stopped running. Anyhow, didn't know what to do about it. They stopped, and of course they pulled the bonnet up, and there was a leak there. It might have been a petrol leak, I think. We had nothing to repair it. Someone said, hey, what about this chewy? And they stuck a bit of chewy over the hole, and that got us up here at Oakbank. So their father came with us, and he took us down to Pinnock's paddock there. He had camped there previous, and we camped along some other people who were from Birkenhead. Bishops was their name, Captain Bishop. They had a catch, and we camped alongside of them. And that's how it came about. And as each year went by, we got more tents, got that way in the end at every family. And they all came up on their own trucks. And how it got the name of Rotten Row, I got some photos in there, cards that come back. I knew a fellow here a year or two back went to England, and I asked him would he go anywhere near Rotten Row. We learnt about Rotten Row as kids at school, and this was in my mind down here. So I brought the photos back. But anyway, I thought I'll give this row the name of Rotten Row. And I got a piece of cardboard with a black crayon, and I wrote on the cardboard, and I found a stick. And I nailed the cardboard to the stick, Rotten Row, and it's stuck to that day ever since. And that picture there, that is of 4 relatives of my wife. They're dressing the poultry. In those days we used to bring up our own ducks and fowls and have them slaughtered, and there's a photo of the women plucking them and dressing them. This picture here is in the original Rotten Row down in Pinnock's paddock, and on this Sunday everybody came out of their tents and got in the row, and somebody had some music there, and as you can see the girls dancing there. This photo of the women going out with their shiny and new painted buckets to go over to a tap that Bob Pinnock put there for us to get the fresh water. This picture here, it's a photo of a large apple pie that a friend used to bring up each year. He was from down the southeast somewhere, so it was so large, I suggested to this fellow, well, to cut this up we'd have to get an axe to do it. So there you can see the bloke holding the axe up ready to slice it. This is a photo, just a black and white photo of the large mallee roots that we used to get for our campfire concert, and the roots were given to us by the council here, and sometimes they used to take us men out around to the paddocks and gather up these big roots. As you can see how large they are, it would take 2 and 3 men to lift them up to put them on the truck. Now this photo, it doesn't need much explaining, but you can see where I am and what I am about to do. I think in those days they called them long drops. Well, that's one of them. This is a photo of Bob Pinnock and his 2 horses and his trolley. He used to use that to carry his chaff and straw around to feed his milking cows. And that's a photo of some of the children and their parents there on the trolley. The original people of Rotten Row was Jack Drewer, his wife Thelma, their son Jackie, and their second son Brian. And then Thelma's sister was Selina Sweeney, Jimmy Sweeney, his son, Dot Sweeney, and Ray Sweeney. That was that family. And then there was my wife Nora and her younger sister Bonnie and their younger brother Maury. I'm not sure what I mentioned Selina's third child, Ray Sweeney, and their father, and of course me, Bill Lawrence.
And how many are still surviving?
I would say there's 2, Jackie Drewer and myself, Bill Lawrence.
And what year did you come over to this area where we are now?
I think, I don't remember, the people say 1959, Bet? Yeah, the people here say we've been here 36 years. We were first went down to Pinnock's paddock in 1934, and we could have been there for 25 years, which would take us up to 1959. Now the people say we've been here for 36 years. In total, it's 61 years since I first came here.
Well, Michael Quinn, I've been coming up to Oakbank about 53 years.
Reg Wilson. I've been coming to Oakbank for a little over 60 years. Actually only camping here for 34 years. But have spent quite a number of years working here with bookmakers, so I know quite a bit about Oakbank.
And I'm Gwen Wilson, and I've been coming up here with my husband for 34 years.
I'm Jean Quinn, and I've been coming up here for 6 years.
What could be an item of interest here is the fact that my granddaughter is sitting alongside of me. Was 21 a few days ago, and this is her 22nd trip to Oakbank. That may seem a little bit incredible, but her mother was taken down to the hospital from Oakbank on the Wednesday night. Tanya was born on Thursday morning, and her and her mother were back here on Sunday night to go to the Oakbank races on the Monday. And therefore, she now has the distinction of being to Oakbank 22 times in her 21 years.
I love it. I love it. It's relaxing. It's
friends?
enjoying. Yeah, you see people you don't see for a whole year, 3. And it's like nothing's ever changed. You see them a year after and you're still as close as you were the year before.
Rotten Row is as much a part of Oakbank today as the horse races and the carnival atmosphere.
There's Starley coming into the paddock.
I'll run over here.
Max is coming into the paddock. And they had a little gatekeeper, Lee Staple.
Dolben, that's about 46 years old. And we've been coming up here to Oakbank for 51 years.
This is Star and Wayne starting to set up their annex. Yeah.
Oh, they see you.
Now just hold them up for Glenda and say that.
Yes, we all like pigs last year. Beautiful.
That's right.
But that's all right.
This is Max putting up his annex.
Jodie's birthday money, isn't it? Easter money.
Stop your bloody whinging.
Mushrooms.
There, I say, he hardly gets here at Oakbank, and look what he's got.
Where you going, son?
Doesn't take him long.
You want a couple?
Yeah, very good.
Where's the bloody sack?
I went to bed half time.
It's on again next week.
Is it? Oh, we'll beat them next
Right?
week. We'll beat them next
Yeah.
week.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
So,
Yeah.
They were just too good for us, weren't they?
yeah,
How'd you go at the races yesterday?
all right.
Right.
No stuff.
No good. No. Lost all this money.
Yeah,
I've got to go down and get the paper.
Have you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I'll have a read of it.
yeah, well, I'll go down and get the paper.
Don't be long. Are you
Okay.
going to do mushrooming? Now, what about your mushrooming, Max?
Plenty of mushrooms. So, a cup of tea?
Yes, I'd love one.
I'll get some water.
Good.
What about me? Can't I get a cup, mate?
Yes.
Yes.
Take your turn.
Make enough for 2. settled. Good boy.
What in here, Tom? What have you done?
Must be boiling now, Matt. Good boy. Just right. We'll have a cuppa.
Pour 'em in.
Good afternoon.
That works, huh?
You're right. Cuppa.
No milk, no sugar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. You're so kind. You need to
You're right.
There we go. Good luck to the races tomorrow.
Third and fourth generations of the original campers still enjoy the Oakbank races as much as their parents did. And to look at Rotten Row in the 1990s, well, nothing much has changed except for a few modern camping vans and state-of-the-art barbecues. The only people allowed here are the original campers, their children, grandchildren and friends, making Rotten Row a very special pilgrimage for the families who go back a long, long way.
Arthur Elliott, coming about 30 odd years.
I'm Brenda Elliott. I've been coming up here for 22 years with my 8 children.
All right, we have here 3 generations, myself, starting as probably the older, then we have Betty, my sister-in-law, and then my son, Michael, followed by little chap Peter, and then we go down here, and we have the least, or the earliest one now, Melissa, having a go at the moment, and Tracy, his mother. Her mother, oh goodness gracious, what a blue. And the other 2, Matthew and Tara, and they belong to my grandma here.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
come on, buddy, how you going?
Just passing, thought he'd drop in.
That Warren's my name. I've been coming up about 4 years.
My name's Warren Foster. I'm son of Star and Rose, and I first of all came up here when I was a little tacker, and after a few years, when I was a teenager, didn't come up for a few years, but then come back with the family, and it's just great. So we've been coming up, my wife and I, for since then about 20 odd years, I suppose.
Oh, Mary, quite good trip.
How long have you been coming up here, Mary?
We've been coming up for approximately 4 years, I think.
And why have you been coming up here?
Well, Wayne and Joan convinced us to come up, and we've enjoyed it ever since.
And how long do you come up here for?
Yeah, 10 days.
10 days?
Usually 10 days. Thoroughly enjoy every minute of it.
Isn't it amazing how a camera stops conversation so quickly? It's like that.
What do you want to know?
How long have you both been up here?
44 years.
Him since he was 6 weeks old.
6 weeks old, yeah. Yep, 44 years.
John, and I've been here about 6 years.
I am John's wife, Rosalind, and I've been up here as long as John has.
My name's Warwick. I'm up here with my wife Ken, who isn't here at the moment, and Frederick Jeff, and this is my first year up here.
My name's Jeff Garrick. I'm one of the originals. I've been here for 44 years. Came up here when I was 6 weeks of age, and I'm one of the relations of Starling Foster.
I'm Gordon. We've come up here for about 6 years. We discussed that earlier. I'm here with my fiancée Kathy, who's hiding up the other end of the campsite. She was here until the camera.
Yes, I'm Diane, Jeff's wife. I've been coming up for 23 years.
Hi, I'm Pamela Garrick. I've been coming up here 47 years and I'm the star. Ta-da!
It's just gone straight over,
My name's Andrew Bailey. I'm from Adelaide. We've been coming here for about the last 8 years.
Yeah, my name's Ian.
I'm from Adelaide as well. I've been coming here for about 8 years.
Trevor, been coming here for 3 years. From Adelaide as well.
Hi, I'm Meredith. I'm from the United States actually, and I've been here for about half an hour. Is that what happens the first time?
This is a debut performance for me as well, and I'm from Adelaide.
Hi, I'm Natalie and I'm actually from Auckland, and this is my first time here too.
G'day, I'm Jack from Scrubby Creek, and I'm marrying the Yank over there. My name's Rob Whitehead. I'm from, I can stop wobbling my knees. I'm from Modbury North, and I'm a triathlete.
My name is Jose. I live at Hello Cove. I'm here for 5 days, sucking a few beers, and hopefully backing a few winners.
How many years have you been coming up here?
Oh, I've been coming up here 10 or 12 years now.
Enjoy it?
Yeah, hopefully be coming here until I'm 80. Well, hopefully be running the place. Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm Glenda. I'm the best one of the three. And this is Matthew, and this is my grandson Lee.
How long's
Whoops,
Lee
that's
been?
my cards, they'll cheek. And how long's Lee's been coming since
Lee's been coming here since he was a baby. It's 5 years.
Put the ball down.
Gigi, are we
This is
counting breaks? Or?
Matthew. And this is Donna. And that's Cara. Say hi to the camera, Cara. Hello.
My name's Greg Stable. We've been coming here for...
Too long.
Shut up. This is my interview, not yours. About 7 years. I got dragged into it. It doesn't look like I can get away from it.
And he decided to marry my daughter.
Only because he married me. He's been coming up for... How long have we been coming up?
Well, don't ask me.
Most of my life. I'm not telling you how long that is.
Oh, mine's Tim. I've been coming up since I'm a baby. I like it because it's fun.
How old are you now?
I've been moving around here up here for 35 years.
You don't come up for a while.
Still doing it well. Come up here, my first year was spent in a suitcase. I was a 3-month-old. Haven't stopped since.
Oh, in that group.
I like it here because I play football and
What's your name?
I'm Lee Staples.
What's your name and how long have you been coming up here?
I live here.
There is a special magic about Oakbank that words can't describe. The huge crowds that flock to the Adelaide Hills year after year is testimony to the appeal of the Easter Carnival. For more than a century, Oakbank has been a tradition for all South Australians. As long as Oakbank races are held here, the families of Rotten Row will be here to enjoy their Easter holiday. And there's plenty of good stories to go around about Oakbank. Fallen log, a famous landmark at the course. A large tree fell onto the track many, many years ago, and it's remained one of the jumps to this very day. Some of the great champion horses are buried here, a fitting resting place for the thoroughbreds who dedicated their lives to racing.
Years ago, Joan didn't like coming to Oakbank because she wasn't used to camping out, and I finally conned her in to come to Oakbank. And needless to say, they never had a child. And then she was checking on all these young ones. She said, oh yeah, I remember 9 months' time you'll all have children. And who had the bloody child? Herself, and she never had a child for 9 years. So the Oakbank had to it.
12.
12, I'm sorry.
It's the Oakbank
Who's
here.
next?
Well,
The Oakbank here.
that year it was particularly cold, Dad. We only had a little single bed.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, just a few things about Oakbank that just comes to mind, and we used to always I used to never pay to get into Oakbank. To the races, just never pay. And what we used to do is, there's been a couple of things we used to do. First thing, we used to walk along the paddock outside the race course and walk through the women's toilet to get into the course. And that's how we got into the course of paying. Anyway, they closed that bit off, they put a fence around it. So in the end, I got Dad one night to cut a hole in the fence for us. And we used to cut a hole in the fence and get under there, walk through the course. And I had a friend of mine, a bank manager was feeling high at the bank, and I got him through one day like that. And I said, I could imagine we get caught and a bank manager be on the headlines of the paper. So that's one of the
First and
other
last time you've ever done that?
Yeah, first and last. I always pay now since I've been involved with the racing club. Oh, that's true. And I remember can I tell a story about Elliot's too? I this is true. This is true. There's a couple of lads, Elliot's are older now, Robbie and Eric, and they used to, and a couple of other lads, the Elliots, and they used to always get tickets for us, and they used to go in and start annoying the person on the gate and grab all his tickets and bring them back here and sell them to us. So that's how we got in. That's true.
That's a true story.
That's true. That's true. I forgot about that.
Another year, a nephew of ours came up and he slept in somebody else's awning until the morning. That was Art Elliott's awning, and he woke up in there and he was in his wrong awning. He should have been down that way. That's coming from the fire.
You want his name there? Gary
Doyle.
Oakbank is terrific, and it's great to be up here with all our family and friends anyway, and just great to see them. It's nice fresh air, and it's different. It's certainly different, but there's probably a lot more stories we can tell, but can't think of any more at the moment.
Well, as a reminder, this particular camp started the campfire concerts, where all the jockeys, owners, trainers came and put in money for somebody to sing, which was eventually paid into the Spastic Kiddies. Also, they were the original starters of the sports day down the main track, and everybody used to go along, put in a couple of shillings for the children to run and have a sports day.
The 20th century is slowly catching up with Rotten Row. A few mod cons like a new outdoor shower and a 2,000-star kitchen. Well, at least you can see 2,000 stars through the roof, but the guests at Rotten Row now at least enjoy the luxury of an indoor loo. Between the original campers, they have clocked up over 200 appearances at Oakbank. And that's not bad, considering the event is held only once every year. The question is, how much longer will Rotten Row continue? Just looking at the youngsters' eyes around the campfire, the life of Rotten Row has only just begun.
We've only just begun to live, white lace and promises, a kiss for luck and we're on our way. We've only begun. Before the rising sun we fly, so many roads to choose. We start out walking and learn to run. And yes, we've just begun. Sharing horizons that are new to us, watching the signs along the way, talking it over, just the two of us, working together day to day, together. And when the evening comes, we smile, so much of life ahead. We'll find a place where there's room to grow. And yes, we've just begun. Sharing horizons that are new to us, watching the signs along play. Talking it over, just the two of us, working together day to day. Together, together. And when the evening comes, we smile. So much of life ahead. We'll find a place where there's room to grow. And yes, we've just begun.